The Exedid state emerged in Egypt during a period of deep political fragmentation within the Abbasid Caliphate by the early 10th century. Real power in the Islamic world had shifted away from Baghdad into the hands of military commanders and regional governors. Egypt, rich and strategically vital, became one of the most important provinces contested by rival forces. Muhammad ibn Tuj, a Turkish military commander who had risen through the Abbasid army, was appointed governor of Egypt in 935 CE, soon after consolidating his authority. He received the honorific title Elekshid from the Abbasid Caliph, a Persian royal title meaning king or ruler. From this moment, Egypt entered a new phase of semi-independent rule, known historically as the Exedid state. Although the Exedids formally recognized the authority of the Abbasid Caliph, real power rested entirely in Cairo and Fustat. Ibn Taj al-Ekshid ruled Egypt and Syria with strong military control, relying on Turkish soldiers and a centralized administrative system. His priority was stability. Egypt had suffered years of unrest, and the Ekshid focused on securing tax revenues, protecting agricultural production, and maintaining order along trade routes. One of the most significant aspects of Ekshidid rule was its balance between autonomy and loyalty. While the Abbasid Caliph's name continued to be mentioned in the Friday sermon and on coinage, Baghdad had no effective influence over Egyptian affairs. This political reality allowed Egypt to function as an independent state in practice, even if not in name. After the death of Muhammad ibn Taj al-Ekshid in 946 CE, power passed nominally to his sons Anuja and later Ali. But real authority quickly shifted into the hands of a man who would dominate the Ekshidid period. Abu al-Misk Kafur, originally a black slave of Ethiopian origin, Kafur rose through intelligence, discipline, and political skill to become the most powerful figure in Egypt. Kafur ruled Egypt as regent and later as de facto ruler for more than 2 decades. Under his administration, Egypt experienced relative stability and economic balance. He successfully defended the country against external threats, including attempts by the Fatimids to invade from the west. Through diplomacy, military readiness, and careful management of resources, Kafur preserved Egypt's independence during a dangerous and unstable era. Despite his effectiveness, Kafur's rule exposed the fragility of the Ekshidid system. Authority depended heavily on personal competence rather than strong institutions. When Kafur died in 968 CE, the state rapidly unraveled. The remaining Ekshidid rulers lacked experience and authority, while the army became divided and undisciplined. At the same time, Egypt faced severe economic difficulties. Declining Nile floods, financial mismanagement, and internal rivalries weakened the government. Public confidence collapsed, and the military was no longer capable of defending the country. This internal decay opened the door for external forces that had long waited for the right moment. To the west, the Fatimid Caliphate had been preparing for decades, to conquer Egypt. Seeing the weakness of the Exedid regime after Kaffa's death, the Fatimids launched a decisive campaign under the command of Jawhar al-Sakli. In 969 CE, the Fatimid army entered Egypt with little resistance. The Exedid state collapsed almost immediately, unable to mobilize effective opposition. The fall of the Exedids marked the end of Egypt's last Sunni regime before the Fatimid era. The transition of power was swift and largely peaceful, reflecting how deeply the state had weakened from within. With the Fatimid victory, Egypt entered a new political and religious chapter that would last more than 2 centuries. Although the Exedid state was relatively short-lived, lasting just over 3 decades, its role in Egyptian history was significant. It represented a bridge between direct Abbasid control and full independence. It also demonstrated how military power, personal leadership, and economic management could temporarily stabilize a region, even as the wider caliphate collapsed. The Exedid experience remains a clear example of how states can survive through balance and pragmatism, yet fall quickly when institutions are weak and leadership disappears. Their rise and fall prepared the stage for the Fatimid conquest and reshaped the political destiny of medieval Egypt.